So in 2024, I got really back into reading, and one of the authors that I completely fell in love with was T Kingfisher. So I've slowly been working my way through her backlog, and today I'm going to talk about A House with Good Bones. Now, the really fun thing here is that this is the first one of her books that I'm reading that has nothing to do with like fairy tales or Grimm's fairy tales retelling. This is completely different from anything of hers I've read, completely out of the more fantasy genre and more in the horror genre. However, this has kind of made me like her even more. This wasn't my favorite one of her books, but I appreciate it for what it was because it let me see a different side of her. House with Good Bones follows Sam. She is going back home to her childhood home for a little while because there was an unexpected break during her archaeological dig. She is a bug expert, but she also does archaeological work to like kind of tell the history of bugs. And this is important because throughout the book, there are a lot of descriptions of different types of bugs and how they kind of relate to the creepiness and the story that's being told here. I don't want to go into too many spoilers, but all that is kind of relevant. And once she's home, things kind of take a turn. Things are not what they appear to be. A lot of things are tying back to the age of her mother and the age of when her grandmother passed away. So things start to get crazy. There's a lot of paranormal stuff. There's stuff with bugs and plants and farming and this amazing atmosphere of like, you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know how far things are going to go, but you're totally on board for it. Now, I do think that this took a little bit to really get going, and I think that the problem I had with this book is that so much gets explained towards the end in such a very quick amount of time, and it's almost like had we started seeing some of this unfold earlier in the book, I think I would have been more engrossed by it. Instead, as much as I really enjoyed it, I just felt like for a good chunk of this book, we were just kind of going almost nowhere. But once the action starts, it's great. I loved all these characters. I really loved Sam and her mother's relationship. And I really love the witch that lives in their neighborhood. She's fantastic. And as always, T Kingfisher has this amazing way of like finding humor in these kinds of stories, in these very dark, serious situations. And I personally love that. It's very endearing to me. I will always love that about her work. So all in all, this was not my favorite of her books, but again, it really let me see a different side of her writing, and I love that, and I'm very excited to keep going down this journey with T Kingfisher's work.